I post 20 pieces of content a day organically every single day myself as part of my business, my brand, and my growth and learning. And here are some lessons that I've learned from doing that. We sat down tonight and looked at some of the numbers from the past month, the past 3 months, the past 6 months of work that we've been doing in terms of what's working, what's not. And one, I think that's a hugely important thing, even if you're not a numbers guy like myself. Being able to look at your analytics and understand them and how they translate over to business, because I run my business through online, is a massive pathway for that for myself. Hugely important to look at those numbers and be able to look at them objectively. And the more frequently you look at them with that objective, the intention to look at them objectively, the better you're going to get at that. But what I've found is, I have noticed, because I teach people this stuff as well, some people get real hung up on being able to post a couple times a week. And I thought, okay, what's the difference between where they're at now and the fact that when we looked at the numbers for the past month, even I have averaged 50 posts a week, and that's like 15.7 posts a day, that kind of thing. So it's a fair bit, and that's across all platforms, and that's actually discounting like X and YouTube weren't counted within that. So there are more posts than that. I have noticed one of the biggest disparities is I have purposely given myself the moniker of a content creator to myself, and that was something I was very intentional about. I've always made content, but when I adopted the identity of I'm a content creator, this is what I do, so many things flowed so much more for that. On top of that, I started to set myself these parameters of 4 posts a day is my minimum, 5 is my minimum now. On my couple days where it's lower volume, 20 a day on the higher and the bigger days. By way of that, those are, honestly, you could just start with that and just post, do that, and you would get so far with just setting those intentions, because you'll sit there and you will just do it. And I have noticed that it does expand to whatever time that you give it. So if you give yourself 8 hours to make those 20 pieces of content, it'll take 8 hours. If you challenge yourself to do it in 4 hours, you'll get it done in 4 hours. If you just had to do it, and you can sit there and do nothing else. And in terms of the content systems and frameworks, all of those specifics, that's stuff that I, as part of calling myself a content creator or labeling myself as that content creator, I will go and study these things, and I will just have it on in the background. I'll listen to that, and I very much enjoy analyzing my content. My wife just walked in the door, and building and growing through that is something that I find immense joy in, and that's a big part of it. Is I focus on the inputs in regards to all of these things, as opposed to just the outputs. So the inputs being like making the 20 pieces of content and posting them is always an important thing, because some people will make them to make them and make them, never post. It's about putting them out there, because that high volume will allow you to learn so much more than you could if you would just sit on a post for like a week. Getting it out there is huge. It's like in martial arts is the example I equate it to. Is if you never throw a jab, you're never going to learn to throw a jab, because you're just going to be constantly thinking about it. And if you're so afraid to make a mistake, then you'll never learn in the first place, because all mistakes are just steps on the road to success. So can they really be gauged as mistakes? Then I say no. And in terms of that, we've developed a lot of stuff around how to understand content in terms of how to help people with it. But if you were to boil it down to one thing, it's thinking about the problems that the people you want to have, the people that you want to help are having, and then solving those problems within your content. And in a nutshell, that tends to lead to being able to make money through content as well. And if you're not sure who that is, who you'd be interested in helping, I normally say whatever you're passionate about doing, you can just look at you from 5 years ago and be like, what struggles was that little dude going through, and what would I need to tell him? Just keep doing that, and through setting the high targets, you'll be able to grow so much more than if you were to set yourself small targets and then not hit as much. So another example I use is like cold outreach. Some people, it's like if you message 5 people a day, 5 days a week, if none of those people reply, that sucks. It just like, it feels like, man, 100% of people didn't reply. But if you message 100 people a day, every single day of the week, you probably get a higher number of people replying just because of the volume that you're doing. Like, oh, this is fun. Like, you don't have time to focus on all the no-shows, no responses, and you'll just continue to refine your process over time. Similar thing with content. I call that front-loading skill acquisition. In terms of the specifics of the systems in that, I can talk more about that in future videos, but I find that myself, personally, that's the stuff that really helps me put out such a high output. You could argue that's high, is adopting the identity and the moniker and setting it up, like kind of setting up a system in terms of like your day so that it's as easy as possible for you to do that. And then keeping it fun. Fun gets done. Those are thoughts on that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. This is all the art of being man. Embody that and it'll be all gravy, baby. Bye.